Hello everybody, it is Adam Spencer from SoGoSurvey, and today I'm here to talk about the remote work revolution. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. So with the remote work revolution, employers can keep their employees by, well, ironically, sending them home. Now, remote work is something that's really only come up in the last 10 years or so. But before we get to the remote work revolution, I think all of us can relate that in certain points of our lives, most of us had to work one or two jobs we weren't the biggest fans of, and it was mainly for financial reasons. You have to pay the bills. And unfortunately, employee experience is not a primary focus for every employer. Now, if you mix an employer who doesn't value employee experience that much on top of a job that you already are not vibing with too much, it can be a bit of a problem. But imagine a time where you could work a job, whether it's your passion or a job you need purely for monetary reasons, without having to leave the comfort of your living room or your favorite coffee shop. Is that time now? Well, I would say it is. Millennials have really been the driving force behind the remote work revolution. This is mainly because of the spread of the internet. It has now provided opportunities to escape the traditional work settings. Some studies estimate that up to 70% of the workforce works remotely at least once a week, and that's a global estimate. Broadly speaking, millennials are often viewed as being impatient with inefficiencies on top of that. But in 5 years, millennials will make up 3/4 of the workforce, and many will be bosses. So let's get into the benefits of working remotely. Working remotely is a win-win for both employees and employers. Businesses have to spend a lot of money on office space, on electricity, on the janitorial staff, a bunch of different things. And employees have to spend a lot of their time in traffic or dealing with the noise and problems that come with an open office plan. But avoiding the office and working from a device, whether that's a computer or a tablet or a smartphone, offers a bunch of environmental benefits. One that I can think of off the top of my head is, say you only drive Monday through Friday. You live in a walkable city, but you need to drive to work. And you work from home 1 day a week. You would be cutting 20% of your car's emissions. That is incredible. 1 day, doesn't sound like a whole lot, but that adds up. That reduced 20% constantly adds up, and that can be great for our environment. And we want our earth to be as healthy as possible, and this would be a way to do it. A good way for employers to retain employees is by actually telling them not to come in. Employees are one of the most valuable assets of any company, and a major perk an employer can offer a potential employee is the chance to work remotely, whether it's once a week or every day. A 2014 study found that 80% of remote workers reported higher morale, 82% said remote work helped lower their stress levels, and 69% reported lower absenteeism. So I've talked about what remote work is and where remote work currently stands, but let's sit back for a second and imagine the future of remote work. Imagine if most of the workforce didn't have to go to work. What would society look like? Imagine if you could get an 8-hour day's work completed in 3 hours instead. What would you do with the rest of that time? Spend time with your family or work on personal projects or get some much needed rest? It's a super exciting transition, and ultimately we don't know what's going to happen. I'm not a time traveler, but I think it's headed on the upswing, and I think it's going to be good for both employers and employees. It's just a wonderful opportunity, and I think with the evolutions of technology, we're only going to have more opportunities to work from home, be more efficient, and have more time to ourselves, and have a better work-life balance. So what employee benefits would your team value most? If you all would like to read more about the remote work revolution, we have a blog about it on our website. Also, please follow us at SoGoSurvey on our various social media platforms. Thank you all so much for tuning into this week's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoy making these things. I also hope you tune into next week's episode. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful week.